Welcome back to the show, everybody. Last Wednesday, it seemed so empty because there was no Mike Lupica with us. He was at Wimbledon, but he joins us again today. Mike, how was the All England Club?
Michael, it's my favorite venue in sports. I was with my youngest son, Zach. We went to 3 days of Wimbledon and had an absolute blast. And then on Saturday night, we went to a pub and watched the English soccer match in Euro 24.
Wow.
And so I've been monitoring very closely today the English versus the Dutch.
That's funny that you bring that up because Michael yelled at me earlier. When England tied the game at 1 in the first half, Mike, I called out the score. And Michael quickly told me that no one cares about the Euros, and I informed him that's simply not the case.
So wrong.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute, Mike. Wait a minute. Wait. Do you think more people listening to the show care about the Yankees or the Euros?
That's not fair.
Say, come on.
No, that's not. That is classic whataboutism, Michael.
Thank you.
Well, that's what I'm about.
That is classic whataboutism, okay? And, but way back when the World Cup came to this country, remember the slogan was 2 billion people can't be wrong. And I wrote at the time that obviously 2 billion people could be wrong. At least that many people had seen Cats by then. So
wow.
it's what?
Wow, too soon.
I love this competition. Watching it, we'll move on to the Yankees in a second. But watching it in a pub with Zach and another buddy of ours, John, the other night, it occurred to me we just don't have this.
No.
We don't have this one unified moment and team, and I could imagine the whole country screaming when Harry Kane scored that first goal today.
Peter was.
Let's ask the question to Mike.
All right.
So Peter screams out that Spain had taken the lead.
This is yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
On the same day in which Michael informed us that Tyler Glasnow went on the IL.
Right.
Who cared more about what was said?
What information was more valuable to the public? The Tyler Glasnow injury or the Euros update?
I don't think you Michael, you're not appreciating what an international audience you have, and we'll just take New York City alone, guys. Okay. You could go into any bar today in the afternoon, which Michael, when he was single, he was into day drinking, and you would see them packed, whether they have a country in this match today or not.
Or not, exactly.
Now, Don had a question for you before we get into other stuff. You like Wimbledon; it's your favorite venue. Why not go there this week, where the matches are more important?
Well, because I wasn't there. I wasn't there. I mean, I wrote a couple of columns, but I wasn't there to cover it in the way that I used to when I used to go over and cover Wimbledon and the British Open every year and have a blast. So just being on the ground. So like the last match I saw the other day,
Oh no! That was so sudden and rude.
Yeah. Who did not want to hear what he was about to say?
I wanted to hear it.
I wanted to hear, but somebody got involved.
I think it was Tom. I think Tom Bauer did it.
Never would be Tom.
You sure?
Not the kind of guy. Yeah, not the kind of guy he is.
Well,
we'll get him.
As we get him back, I want to remind everybody about Game Time, brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. Yankees look to rebound against the Tampa Bay Rays starting at 6:50 p.m., and the Mets will go for back-to-back wins against the Nationals at 7:10. No mention of soccer. That's Game Time, brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, it's Tully time. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew and try the brand new Tullamore Dew Honey during tonight's action. Glasses up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsible. We have Mike back. Mike, as you were saying.
No, I was just saying that the last match I saw before Zach and I left the grounds on Friday was the Alcaraz match against Tiafoe when he came from 2 sets to 1 down.
Yep.
It was great. I mean, this kid is now 12-1 in 5-set matches. It's it's one of the most ridiculous statistics in all of sports. It's with Djokovic, Djokovic might win, but with Fed and Nadal gone, for this kid to come along is a blessing. All right, so let's move on.
Wait, I have one last thing.
Michael.
Mike, I have one absolute last thing I have to know the answer to. I may never make it to Wimbledon, okay? But I do make it to Queens every August, early September. I have to know how insane the prices are for a sandwich at Wimbledon. Are we talking like $33? What are we talking about?
No, forget about the food, okay? I went in to the Wimbledon shop to buy hats and T-shirts for the families, and I was fine. You wouldn't have even known how badly I had been pummeled against the ropes when I walked out, or that I had to take out another mortgage when I got home. But no, the prices are insane. But guess what? I think they're less insane than they are at the U.S. Open.
All right, so what do you think of the Yankees? I mean, we have people call, well, I'm not going to panic. And I go, oh, okay. Don't panic, but be very concerned. This is not good. This is 23 games of being the worst team in baseball. Your take.
Yeah, Mike, I figured this out the other day. I wrote about this the other day. When they went into Fenway Park on June 14th, they were 13 games ahead of the Reds. 13. The Red Sox were a game over 500. And that 2 out of 3 that the Red Sox put on them, and Michael, it's odd, but those 9 stolen bases, somehow it was like the last thing that rocked the Yankees world. And since then, the Red Sox have made up all this ground to where they're now 2 behind in the loss column. I had a Yankee fan friend of mine say the other day, he said this about a week ago. He said, by the All-Star game, we're going to be closer to the Red Sox than we are to the Orioles. And Mike, I think they're in a world of trouble. If they're going to, and by the way, if Rodon and Cole aren't going to be a hell of a lot better than this, they can make all the moves they want at the trade deadline. Mike, I saw another stat the other day. This is 3 years in a row where they've had a stretch where they lost 15 out of 20 games. And I'm sorry, but great teams don't do this. And it's what I've been saying about this team that Brian assembles year after year after year. Michael, they can look like a powerhouse for a month or 2 or even a half a season, the way they do. What were they, 64-28 or whatever they were a few years ago, before they were a 500 team the rest of the way. But there's a glass jaw element, and I'm not writing them off, okay? Because if this can happen in a month, they can turn it around in the next month. But boy, I'll tell you something. There's a feeling that you get with this Yankee team that when they get hit and they go down, they stay down.
Now, nobody is going to suggest that they don't want to win. Of course they want to win. Anybody that owns a team wants to win. But the mission statement of championship or bust or second place is first loser, do you think that really still exists behind the walls in the Yankee executive offices?
No, Donnie, it's not logical for them to look at this way. How many times in all the years since they last made the World Series did you look at them for more than a month or 2 and say, oh, my God, they are the best team? They're rarely the best team in their own division. And so over time, the idea that it's a canyon of heroes or bust because they're the Yankees just doesn't bear any scrutiny. I said this to somebody the other day. I think I might have written this, okay? In the last 20 years, they've made as many World Series as the Colorado Rockies have, the Chicago White Sox have, the Arizona Diamondbacks have. It's kind of amazing.
So what do you do? I mean, here's the problem they have, and we've talked about this a lot, Mike. This is the one year you know for sure you have Soto. You can't waste this year. And, by the way, you can't waste another year of Judge's career. So do they part with their top prospects and make these desperate moves right now? Or do you just roll the dice and hope that everybody starts to play better and the injured people come back?
Well, Michael, I always wonder about this, okay? Over time, I think they've been able to fool people less and less with their, quote, top prospects. Now, Rice may turn out to be the real deal, or he may turn out to be Greg Bird. We don't know. He's a nice player, and he's playing really well right now. But they over-evaluate year after year their young talent because, who knows what the Martian would be if he had stayed healthy. But when you look at the team, okay, who's the homegrown star on the field. The homegrown star on the field is number 99. And Michael, Volpe seems to be a nice kid. I think he's going to be a nice player. But I said this in my Sunday column the other day. Are they looking at the Anthony Volpe that is, or are they continuing to look at the Anthony Volpe that they so desperately want him to be?
I mean, I think they want him to be. I think they thought that the 290 hitter, 6 weeks ago was the Anthony Volpe that they think. But now he's hitting 249, so I'm not sure what they think. I think they think he's better than this, and he happens to be very good in the field.
But so are a lot of guys. I think his on-base percentage, Mike, I may be off on my numbers. It's about 3 right now, right? I mean, it's 300.
His on-base percentage in the last 23 games is 212.
Right, and what is it for the season? It's just a tick over 3, right?
Yeah.
But he's not Michael. He's not the problem. Again, you can look at this team right now and look. What was the thing that blew us away over April and May and into June? The starting pitching, even without Garrett Cole. Yep. And now you have to worry about Rodon, Mike, and guys. Maybe he's just another guy who cannot pitch in the city. Maybe, Michael, you've been hearing me say this for years. Maybe there's an aptitude test you should have to take. You know that Q test that they give kids in pro football at the combine?
Right.
Maybe the Yankees need a Q test because I don't know what the thing is with Cole. Maybe it's just early season blues because he started late. He'll finally look like the guy that we thought was going to start the All-Star game about a month ago. But if they're going to pitch like this, everybody wants starting pitching. Where are they going to find it at the trade deadline?
And the other thing needed is bullpen help. Is there enough out there for the Mets to stay in this thing the way the bullpen is currently constructed?
It's a shame because the Mets are fighting hard. I love the shortstop. I love what he's done. He got off to a dreadful start. He has not only gotten back up, and he has not only thrived in the leadoff spot. He more than Nimmo. JD came along at the right time when they really needed some big stick. But they're fighting hard, and if they had any kind of help in the bullpen, and guess what? This is where the new head of baseball operations comes in. There's an old line that I love from the late, great George Young, okay? And he was talking about one of his coaches at one point, and he said, it's time for the guru to start guruing, okay? And it's time for the guru, the new guru at Citi Field to start guruing. This is his team now. This is on him now. I think there was a part of me that thought, okay, well, we'll be just okay this year, and then I'll put my plan into effect when the season's over. No, they got a chance now, okay? And I think they owe it to this team and to their fans. But again, everybody wants pitching. And so what do you give up? What are you willing to give up in the short run to get pitching? And the Yankees are going to be in the same exact boat. And I'm telling you, Michael, you see them almost every day. I think these next 5 days are immensely important to the Yankees going into the All-Star break. Right?
If they go 1-5, it's really bad. It's just awful.
Yeah, I mean, it is, and it's stunning. Except we've seen this movie before, and you know what it's like when they get going. It's like Notre Dame, shake down the thunder. You can almost imagine them organizing the floats down on Lower Broadway. Okay. And they can't blame this on Stanton because you can't get upset about a guy getting hurt who always gets hurt.
All right, so I'm going to ask you something, and I'm going to give you time to consider before we let you go. My bucket list. Okay. I have 2 things on my bucket list: going to the Derby and going to Wimbledon.
Yep.
Next year, will you take me to Wimbledon with one of your sons?
next year, because Zach's already working on me. When I said to him the other day, I said, Zach, was that a great week or not? And he said, when are we doing it again? Michael, if Zach and I are there next year, I will walk you through those grounds, and then you will fully understand what a special place it is.
And for some strange reason, I'm sure you're puzzled, and Taylor is puzzled as well. Your sons like me a lot, so I think they'd have a good time.
Well, I'll just before we go, I will tell the audience and Peter and Don that one of the great appearances ever at a Lupica family gathering was when my oldest, Christopher, graduated from high school. All of a sudden, late in the party, Kay comes walking around the corner.
Here we go.
It was. Guys, we can't make his head any bigger because it's obviously, in many ways,
really.
a big head. But, okay, it was a rock star. It was a rock star appearance. You ask Christopher what he remembers about everything that happened that night. He said, "Oh, Dad, Kay showed up."
Yeah. What do you say? What do you say about that, Don and Peter? What do you say?
I'm impressed.
Zach's going to meet some new people.
No, this was Christopher.
No, it's Christopher.
This was Christopher.
No, this is my oldest. This is my firstborn. This is the young man who's given me a grandson is about to give us another one.
Well, both need to meet new people. Well, because what I think the part you're leaving out of that story is that they thought Kurt Schilling walked in and then realized that it was
my God.
No. You can be dismissive, Michael.
So I get
Michael was there. He saw the reaction. You guys go ahead and mock my guy, but this was huge.
Yeah. Thank you, Mike. Thank you so much.
You're the best.
You just made my day. Thank you, Mike. That's Mike Lupica. Every Wednesday we have fun with him.
Yeah.
Walked in, the party stopped. You realize that?
Now, listen, you are significant. You are. I mean, there's no way around it. I mean, but it just didn't play to just me to agree. But no, you are pretty significant. And the other part of the story that I found, he calls his son Zacho. You got to come up with something better than that.
Oh,
You're not feeling Zacho as a nickname.
I don't think Zach is either.
I think Zacho likes it.
Yeah, you know what? That is a tough one. Rhymes with wacko.
Well, Zacho just seems like a forgotten Marx brother.
We'll come back with more of this right here on Yes and 98.7 ESPN.